like that. So we're gonna keep on rambling until I get a better intro in my head, because I'm just gonna delete this in post. Hopefully, we'll see. I don't know. What's up, guys? Welcome to the first TWAB recap video on the channel. I'm going to be going over this week at Bungie for the week of February 17th, 2022, the last TWAB before Witch Queen launches in, as of the time of I'm recording this video, in 18th, 19th, 20, 21st, 4 more sleeps. So the biggest draw to this week, Bungie went over their design changes for Gambit upcoming. And so we're going to jump right into the meat and potatoes of this, and we're going to go right into there. All right. It's time for Gambit. Drifters hungry. No, not for Hive, but for the spotlight. Well, maybe some Hive too, but let's focus on gameplay as we continue to improve and iterate on the rituals of Destiny 2. Gambit is taking center stage. This isn't a teardown and rebuilding of an existing mode, but a moment for our teams to realign on goals and how we're serving up goods to our players. A few months back, the development team walked through our first update focused on Trials of Osiris. When you look at it, there weren't numerous changes, but targeted pieces of tuning and adjustments to push a healthier experience. Engram focusing and Trials ranks were introduced to help players earn that sweet piece of loot that they've always wanted, even if they weren't winning many matches. Can confirm I played more Trials this past season than I have in my previous, going back to Destiny 1, 8 years of playing Destiny in any form or fashion. I really love the addition of Flawless Pool. I was able of a Flawless Pool. Well, yes, Flawless Pool too, but of freelance trials, because I'm not a PvP god. I don't have a lot of friends who are exceptional in PvP. I have some really great players, but we've always struggled with my skill level bringing them down. So I was really happy to have the freelance mode. I played more Trials, I got some good loot, and it was just overall a good time. So can confirm that was an awesome change. Minor changes to passages and matchmaking were made to help get more players into Trials. Freelance and lab weekends continue as we gather valuable data to inform the future of the mode. At the end of the day, Trials is still illumination, Stain is still a badass, Reekin is still a potato aimer, but with Gambit or any other mode we may update in the future, you can expect a similar approach. Today, principal designer Alan Blaine will be joining us to break down our goals for Gambit and what changes the team is making to get us to where we want to be. When we added Gambit back in Forsaken in the fall of 2018, yeah, it has been 3.5 years, man. Time's crazy. We were closing a gap in Destiny Pursuits. We had a lot of places in the game to shoot aliens in the face. We had places where you could face off against other Guardians, but no place where you could face off against other Guardians by shooting aliens in the face. Fundamentally, Gambit is a PvE, not horde, but firefight mode, culminating in a race to kill a boss first. Meanwhile, you can throw small and large roadblocks in front of the other team racing you, or be the roadblock by invading the opponents, powered up and loaded for bear. Later that same year, we added Gambit Prime, a souped up Gambit with armor-based player roles, and then it didn't really change much for a couple years. I remember playing a little bit of Gambit Prime, but by that point in time, the game mode in and of itself lost interest to me, and I didn't really do it, and I've only played about 5% of the time spent in Destiny for the lifetime of Destiny 2. About 5% of my time has been with Beyond Light. We streamlined both versions into what Gambit is today, combining some of the best parts of the original Gambit and Gambit Prime without attempting to transform the mode or address much of the feedback Gambit had generated over the years. Over the last few months, we've taken a pass on Gambit to address said feedback and realign the mode with many of its original goals. Ultimately, we believe it is important that in Gambit you can showcase both your skill at fighting in Destiny and the variety and focus of your arsenal. It should be just as inherently fun and rewarding to shoot aliens in Gambit as it is elsewhere. Good Invader should be able to turn its tide of a match, but a good Invader should be no more important than any other equally skilled team member. Good Invader does not have to mean a PvP god loaded up with the best tracking / one-hit kill weaponry. Players defending against invaders should have ample tools to fight invaders without worrying about using up ammunition dealing with tougher enemies, and players should have methods for recovering from a devastating invade. It should be rare that a match is out of your hands as a player or that an outcome is preordained early in the match, and working together with your team to overcome tough enemies, whether it's the primeval, the high value target, or an invader, it should feel just as gratifying as a hard nightfall. While we don't always hit those marks, Gambit has a healthy and stable population. I beg to differ based on the number of people, what's the word I'm looking for, showing off their Bungie emails that shows the percentage of how much time they've spent in each activity. A lot of the people that I've seen on the timeline on Twitter or just casually talking about it in other people's replies, that Gambit number is very, very, very below a double-digit percentage time. So I don't know if I necessarily agree. They have better numbers. Obviously, everything is anecdotal. They can definitely tell. But to say a healthy and stable population might be a bit of a reach. That's just me. Ultimately, we want to make Gambit more appealing to a wider audience by addressing points of player feedback and improving upon what exists without changing the core nature of the mode. Our hope is that this leads to more players engaging for longer. So with that, they have 5 categories that these changes are going to be affecting. 1, the core activity, ammo economy, primeval tuning, invasions, and rewards. So the changes to the core activity. First, freelance node added. That's awesome. We think it's important that players feel that they always have a chance at winning, and we see over and over again that full stacks of friends or clan mates have a significant advantage over groups of solo match-made opponents. 100% true. I played more Gambit here recently, the last couple of weeks, than I have previously, because I was really rushing to get to the pinnacle cap. So by nature, I have to run my 3 Gambit matches, and I was doing that. Man, going up against a 4-stack, or even just going up against a 2-stack with 2 pretty decent players, it was just, man, it was like I loaded and I'm like, well, you know what, I might just back out, just take the L and be timed out for a little bit. But freelance being added, that's awesome. Everybody's going to be on even page. It's really just a matter of, at that point now, your skill showing off. So that's awesome. The modes we have added freelance nodes to: Iron Banner, Glory, and Trials of Osiris, all feel like they ended up with more balanced matchmaking, more balanced matches more often, even as they increase and split the number of matchmaking pools. I can agree with that. I've jumped into Trials this past season every week that freelance was available. If freelance wasn't available, I'm sitting out. Same thing for Iron Banner. I hate loading up into Iron Banner, and it's a 6-stack. I don't have as many people to play with, and I'm pretty bad by itself, which probably speaks more to it than anything else. But it's just not fun getting curb stomped. Same thing for Glory. I've actually played some Glory matches and have had some good times. I've been able to pop off some. I've been popped off on. That sounds wrong. Are we doing phrasing? I don't know. Anyway. But yeah, but still, freelance node giving players another avenue to play how they want to play is pretty dope. We are investigating ways to remove the need for freelance nodes that split the population, and hope to have something for you later this year. In the meantime, the ability to queue for Gambit freelance should be very useful. Interesting. Remove the need for freelance nodes. We'll see. Rotating seasonal selection, a curated encounter starting in season 16. In classic Gambit or Prime, you got a randomly selected encounter from a list of 3 for each enemy race on each map. In Beyond Light, due to production issues, we were only able to bring 1 of the 3 variations forward into the new activity. Those issues have been fixed, and we are now bringing the missing variations forward. Playing with a single variation for race or map for a year led us to an interesting observation. It's fun to know that Hive on Pacifica means, oh god, those shriekers, and to learn the spawns and master them over time. Maybe not interesting for an entire year, but we think it would be interesting to have a set rotation of spawns for a season, and over those 3 months really master each encounter. So no more shriekers on Pacifica for now, but they'll be back later this year, or later in the year. Respawn points added to all fronts. Section of maps where enemies can cycle in or out. It can be frustrating to always have to run all the way from the backfield after spawning before you are able to help teammates, fight the invader, collect drop motes, etc. It can also be very frustrating as an invader to always spawn at the same location on the same map multiple times in a row, or to have the invader camp the entrance to avoid confrontation. More respawn points spread throughout fronts should help you get back into the action faster and provide for less predictable spawn points during invasions. Players always drop half the motes they were carrying when they are defeated. These can be picked up by anyone, including invaders. Invaders can also drop more motes now. Cool. This makes recovering from a ruthless invader or bad luck fighting enemies a little easier. All right, bet. So if you have a full 15 stack of motes and you get killed by the invader, you don't lose 15, you lose 7. So do you spawn in with 7 already?
Are you sure about that?
Oh no, they drop the motes. Instead of it being gone, you drop half of them. Okay, I misunderstood for a second. So you drop 7 that can be then picked up either by the invader or by your teammates. Cool. That's awesome. Again, cool. Players can be revived by other players 2 seconds earlier, and auto respawn is delayed 2 seconds. We want to emphasize and reward teamwork as much as possible. Bring your teammate back and saving them a run now is even easier. This change should also reduce the frustrating moments of teammates being forced to respawn as you're halfway through the revive interaction. And when your teammate dies and you run to grab their drop mote, stop for a second and revive them, will ya? All shields have increasing resistance to non-matching damage types. While not as severe as match game resistance in Nightfalls, we wanted a way to promote build crafting and teamwork. Okay, I like that. Rules of Gambit node added to the launch screen, and numerous Gambit specific hints have been added to the load screen. Gambit can be a bit opaque to newcomers. This should give them a leg up. Okay, I can respect that. Dope. Next big category, blockers, draining, and the bank. While we didn't do any drastic adjustments here, we have a few tweaks we think will increase interesting decision both when sending and battling blockers, and hopefully remove the feeling of helplessness as you pour ammo into 3 knights and all your motes drain away. The 10 mote phalanx blocker has its health boosted a bit. While they are a good positional challenge with their shield and knockback, we felt like they weren't quite tough enough for their mote cost compared to the knight, so we increased their health. The 15 mote knight blocker gains a stasis attack. Interesting. We originally planned to pull his health down some as we felt it was a little too beefy for 15 motes, but with the ammo changes below, we didn't find the current health onerous in playtesting. We did think they could be more tactically interesting with a stasis attack without necessarily making them more deadly or harder to kill. All right. Mote drain from multiple blockers continue even if the opposing team is in primeval phase. This will help the team that is behind get to the primeval a little quicker. It's never felt great to send over 4 blockers only to have the enemy team ignore them, all while still being severely behind. This also gives the team in the lead a bit more incentive to kill the blockers, though in the primeval phase. I like that. Mote drain is paused if the player is near the bank and engaging blockers. It never feels great to have your motes draining away while you pour primary ammo into 3 taken knights. Facts. Ammo economy. Our goal for these changes are to make a more predictable and equal baseline of special and heavy ammo among all players. We will be watching both feedback and analytics around ammo gain and usage rates, and we'll continue to make tweaks if these aren't enough to make fair matches. When completing a front, a chest containing a small amount of special and heavy ammo spawns in the middle of the front and can be looted once per player. Times out 20 seconds after the initial interact, so you still can't dilly-dally. Killing a high-value target spawns 1 normal heavy brick for each player. In the primeval phase, ammo chests spawn in one of the front every 60 seconds. This replaces the regular front ammo chests, but you still need to find the time to go grab it. Limited special and heavy ammo bricks to only spawn from enemies if you have finder mods. Limited special and heavy ammo bricks to only spawn from enemies if you have finder mods equipped. Other ammo exotics and perks like Aeon Colt still work. Okay. So we get a little bit more consistent ammo coming through while we're fighting. Primeval fight. Primeval fight is the ultimate challenge of Gambit. It should feel like an epic boss fight and be long enough for the opposing team to get off some invades to counter strong DPS. It should have more to do than simply burning the boss as quickly as possible and turn in place to kill envoys every once in a while. Its mechanics shouldn't be complex, but should require about as much tactical play as a high-end strike boss. So these are the changes. Primeval health and Slayer stack bonus retune. Burning the boss after 3 rounds of envoys should be just as easy as it is now, but burning him after just 1 or 2 rounds should be significantly more work. Envoys now spawn with friends out in the fronts rather than in the bank area. They have reduced health and are no longer affected by Slayer stacks and have varied elemental shields. Nice. Killing the envoys to get Slayer stacks will require movement, dealing with the envoys' protectors, and dealing with their elemental shield. Envoys put an invulnerability shield on the primeval. You must kill them both to remove it and damage the primeval, forcing your team to go out and invade. Envoys respawn at 30% of the primeval damage done. This increases by 10% every envoy respawn, and envoys stop spawning after the 5th spawn. The primeval servitor boss is being removed since its custom shielding mechanics conflicted with the new mechanics, and you can still get your malfeasance quests started on the first primeval kill. With the tuning changes above, the motes phase is significantly quicker and the primeval phase longer. You should expect matches to be just about as long as they are now, but we'll be watching to make sure they aren't too short or too long. I like the changes so far. It's pretty good. Invasions. As we said above, a good invader should be able to turn the tide on a match, but a good invader should be no more important than any other equally skilled team member. We don't want a single good invader to completely dominate match outcome, and they certainly can right now. However, we still want a good invader to be able to delay a strong PvE team from finishing off the primeval. Level advantage is now disabled for invader PvP. Note the quotes, because apparently it's been like that since the start of Beyond Light. One of the moat phase invasions have been removed. Invasions now trigger at 40 and 80. Primeval phase invasions are unchanged. Invasions can no longer be saved up. Use it or lose it, pal. That's awesome. I hated when they would just invade and then invade and then invade, and then all of a sudden I'm back in orbit because I'm not finishing that match. Yes, I'm that. I'm sorry. Invader no longer can see how many moats enemy players are carrying, and player nameplates fade out when the invader is aiming down their sights. You can still see players through the wall, just not while you are engaging your rocket tracking or using your sniper zoom. We did find a bug with how the primeval heal effect was being applied, which, depending on the sequence and timing of kills, would heal the primeval from somewhere between 5 and 35%. Fixed it, and now invader kills heal the primeval for exactly 27% every time. This sounds like a lot, but is actually less than the optimal amount prior. We will be watching feedback and analytics very closely on this one, and will retune as necessary. Rewards. Gambit is the second of the core rituals after trials to get comprehensive engram focusing options. So we're getting engram focusing. We're getting Gambit engram focusing. Nice. You can focus the Gambit engram into either Gambit armor or Gambit weapons for 10,000 glimmer and 50 legendary shards. Gambit weapons includes Crowd Pleaser, Bottom Dollar, Trinary System, Borrowed Time, and Servant Leader. Brand new Gambit weapons are drops only for a single season and are then available for focusing. So any new Gambit weapons we're getting this season will only happen as drops. You can't focus your engrams into that. We expect to expand Drifter's focusing options further during upcoming seasons. Other Drifter changes: the Bygones, Trust, and Bad Omens have been removed from the vendor. And match drops. There is a Gambit memento for weapon crafting that can drop after any match. Older Gambit shaders now have a small chance of dropping at the end of each match. Awesome. Primeval Servitor cosmetic drops can now drop at the end of any match. The Furtive Shell Ghost can now drop at the end of any match as well. Yes, you can expect more rituals to get this treatment throughout the year, but we do not currently have any specific dates to share just yet. Stay tuned. So what's upcoming in the future and Gambit Labs? There are a few things eagle-eyed readers might notice are missing from the above. Don't fret, we do have a timeline for future changes. The daily Gambit bounty objectives are generally fine, but some of the repeatable bounties have some onerous completion requirements. We're taking a pass on these, though they won't all come out at once. I'm assuming it's those like 25. Oh, it says it right there. Sometime this season, we'll be adjusting the completion amounts of most Gambit repeatable bounties. Weapon kills drop from 25 to 15, melee grenades from 25 to 5, and super for 15 to 10. I like those changes. Those are good changes. Again, not a good player. Sometimes those bounties, man, I get real frustrated and then I don't get my bright dust. In season 17, we'll be making additional tuning changes as well as adding 3 new bounties. Throughout the year, we will also be adding bounties specific to Light 3.0 updates. What about Gambit Labs? Invasion Edition. We also have a couple of Gambit Labs that play with some of the core invasion concepts. These will run for 1 week each and will take over the base modes. Invasion Swap. This lab's variation plays around with who gets the benefit from triggered invasions. During moat phase, instead of opening your own invasion portal at 40 and 80, you instead open your opponent's invasion portal. We expect this to completely disrupt the accepted meta for how and when to deposit and invade. We're looking forward to seeing the clever strategies and counter strategies you will develop. Moat Thief. Fundamentally, the original concept of the invader was Guardian as taken terror, overpowered and dangerous, something new to have to fight. While that is very compelling, we don't believe it is the only compelling invader fantasy. We believe that sneaky Moat Thief is worth exploring too. Maybe there are more. Normal moat drain from having 2 blockers will be disabled. Instead, every second that the invader is invading, 1 moat drains directly from your bank to the invader's bank. That's interesting. You come in with a Titan, you pop your bubble, and you just sit there and just drain. You don't even have to go after them. You just sit in your bubble and drain their bank. Interesting. Like that. What about Trials and what's next? If you're not Trials fans, while our main focus for season 16 is Gambit, we still have some fun changes planned. As we discussed earlier this season, we are going to continue to liberally schedule Capture Zone and freelance weekends, as well as a few reputation. Geez, what happened? I can't talk anymore. A few reputation updates coming. For season 16, we're moving to a schedule of 7 new maps for the season, one of which you will get to decide. Expect a survey to come out in the next few weeks to vote on that final map. We also have some adept reward changes coming for season 17. We'll preview those later in the season. What's next, you might ask? We're still ironing out the details, so we don't have anything to share today, not even a lore drop. However, we are planning to make the next 4 seasons a banner year for rituals, and we hope our season 17 plans will spark joy for everyone. I will say that we know we're expecting some Iron Banner changes. I like the way they phrase that, potentially. We hope all the Guardians that love or fear Gambit give the mode another try once the Witch Queen launches. We've really enjoyed playtesting it, and we're going to be listening to your feedback and making adjustments. I for one, am very excited for Gambit, for these changes. I played it when it first launched, had some fun. For the first maybe 2-3 months, and then after that it was kind of like whatever. I'm really hoping that these changes do make a good dent and we get some more Gambit going. Final patch note preview. Here's a quick roundup of patch notes for next Tuesday. Think of this as a kitchen sink of patch notes, a little bit of everything. Ritual rewards, starting with the Witch Queen, ritual playlist rewards will be updated to grant ritual specific gear and no longer be granting rewards from the general world pool. Crucible will grant Crucible gear, Vanguard will grant Vanguard gear, and Gambit will grant Gambit gear. Engram focusing is currently only available on Saint 14 and the Drifter for their ritual specific engrams. World engrams will continue to be granted at major ranks on ritual vendors, just for a little variety. Gambit, Crucible, and Vanguard rituals are receiving updated armor rewards for a new expansion release. These share the same base appearance but have slight differences in decals and coloring to represent each ritual. Here are the the armor rewards. You have the Warlock rocking with the Vanguard alterations. You have the Hunter rocking with the Crucible alterations, and the Titan rocking that Gambit alterations. They look pretty good. I like orange. Just not a fan of the Vanguard blue and orange combo. Reminds me too much of the Knicks and returning Crucible map. So we get 2 maps coming back. Eternity. Yes, I'm in the minority, but I really enjoy Eternity as a Crucible map. And Vostok. Both are coming back to the Crucible with Witch Queen. Eververse. No changes. There will be no systematic changes to the Eververse. There will be new cosmetic items available for Silver and Bright Dust, but no systematic changes to the experience. I don't know why I'm struggling to say that word. But what about Bright Dust? There are no changes to Bright Dust acquisition, or total. I can't speak anymore. Or totals compared to that of Season 15. Players will continue to earn Bright Dust from seasonal challenges, repeatable bounties on specific vendors, and through the Season Pass. Please note that this week also ends, or is the final drop of 700 Bright Dust in celebration of the 30th anniversary. So if you haven't checked the store tab, make sure you do that and pick up your free 700 Bright Dust. Glorious. They look gorgeous. I love that. That is the Universal Armor set available through Eververse, starting with the launch of Witch Queen. Kisa, if you're watching this, honey, I'm sorry. I'll be really upset because I'm buying all 3 of those sets. Season Pass changes. High stat seasonal armor has been reintroduced. Individual pieces are awarded between ranks 57 and 87. Legendary engrams have been replaced with focused Umbral engrams. There's 5 in total, each focused to a different armor piece. And all Umbral engrams will be tier 2. Season Pass emblem has been removed, but we have introduced a Season Pass Sparrow. The Season Pass Scrounger bonuses which increase seasonal weapon and armor drop chances in ritual activities have been overhauled. The weapon Scrounger bonuses are no longer separated by weapon type or ritual activity. They now apply to both Season Pass legendary weapons and all activities at once. So instead of having 6, you have 2. The first one grants a small chance. The second one gives a bonus chance or an improved chance. Total drop chance is unchanged from previous seasons. Same thing with the armor Scrounger. No longer separated by ritual. It now applies to all activities at once. 1 instead of 3, and like the weapon, total drop chance is unchanged. Aside from the emblem, no items have been removed from the Season Pass. They've only been added. Number of rewards such as Glimmer and Legendary Shards have been consolidated to make room for high stat armor. A small amount of upgrade modules have been added. The order of some of the rewards have been tuned to accommodate those above changes. Shattered Throne. Fixed an issue where the Shadow Thrall in the Shattered Throne were unintentionally granting investment rewards such as Glimmer, engrams, and XP. As players begin to craft weapons and level up their Season Pass, we want to ensure gameplay rewards are earned by playing and completing activities, bounties, or hanging out with friends, and while defeating minions of the darkness. Too long, didn't read that part. No more AFK farming in the Thrallway. Boss Stomps adjusted the physics knockback for Boss Stomps. This should result in fewer deaths from being knocked into objects. Next week, we'll have a full round of patch notes available for you to read. Time is currently TBD, but our goal is to give it to you give you some light reading before launch. Steel Series Destiny Collection, those are all awesome. I want them. I need them. Yeah, they're gorgeous, especially that Best Pad RGB PT dubs. Twitch subscription bounty. So back with the launch of the 30th anniversary pack, there was a new Twitch subscription bounty emblem for players to earn. Now there's a new one, purple and black. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. If you don't know how to obtain this emblem, what you have to do, go to any Twitch channel that is an affiliate or a partner, gift 2 subs in their channel, and you will receive this emblem. Make sure that they are playing Destiny and have the Destiny 2 Twitch extension turned on their channel while they're streaming Destiny, and make sure you link your Bungie account with your Twitch account. Witch Queen release schedule. To prepare for the launch of Witch Queen on February 22nd, Destiny 2 will undergo scheduled downtime from 6:45 p.m. Pacific on February 21st to 9 a.m. Pacific on February 22nd. Below is the schedule for the release. 6:45 p.m. servers will be brought offline. 7 p.m. you can preload Witch Queen, available on all platforms. 9 a.m. Destiny 2 will be brought back online, and Witch Queen will be playable on all platforms and regions. Destiny 2 maintenance is scheduled to complete at 10 a.m. on February 2nd. So it looks like, what is that? 14 and a half hours ish of downtime from Monday night to Tuesday morning, afternoon, whatever your time zone is. Players using the PS4 version of Destiny 2 are required to download all associated Destiny required content before playing the Witch Queen. Exorcism. Earlier this week, the Exorcism final seasonal mission, A Season of the Lost, was released. We're continuing to investigate issues with completions of the Exorcism mission and encourage players who observe issues during the activity to report them to our help forum. Here are some updates. Progression can be blocked if moving too quickly on the bridge encounter. Double back if blocked. Don't speedrun it. Don't skip the final cutscene. We've disabled the option to join this activity in progress via matchmaking. Wayfinder's Compass mods are going to rotate on a 2-day. So the 16th was the day before this came out, which was weekly reset for this week. The 18th, which is today that I'm recording. The 20th, which is the Sunday before servers go down. If you are looking for any last chance Bungie rewards, make sure you get all that stuff done before servers are taken offline Monday night at 7 p.m. Same thing for the current gift sub emblem that you're able to get. With the launch of Witch Queen on February 22nd, activities, quests, destination, items, and weapons will be vaulted. Known issues: Hunter Tempest Strike, melee shockwaves can't pass through doorways. Hunter Virtuous Cloak appears rigid when worn. Shout out to Movie of the Week. Everyone who enters and who were spotlighted, highlighted. Shout out to the awesome artists in the Destiny community. For some reason the tweets aren't loading. And yeah, then DMG signs off. We are just 4 sleeps away for Witch Queen. I'm very excited. I hope you guys are excited too. Let me know what you guys think of these Gambit changes. We also have Legendary campaign, which they touched on before in the Vidoc. We have new armor pieces to chase, new guns to chase. Just the campaign. I'm just so excited. This is my favorite time of the year when we have new Destiny content coming. Sound off in the comments below if what you're looking forward to. And yeah, thank you guys for hanging out with me, and I will see you guys in Destiny. Have a wonderful night.